The night before the college entrance exam. The class beauty cried for 59 seconds in the group chat. She said she broke up with the class monitor and didn't want to take the exam anymore. She wanted the whole class to accompany her in applying for a makeup exam. AI says it's okay. 38 people rushed to show their loyalty. In my previous life, I didn't immediately leave the group. I thought that, with something as big as the college entrance exam, someone must be clear-minded. AI posted screenshots of the policies in the group, urging them not to believe the AI and to go to the exam hall on time tomorrow. But no one listened. Jiang Tiantian called me crying, saying she couldn't go on anymore, and begged me to accompany her to school to submit a deferred exam application. I softened for a moment and went. By the time I rushed to the exam site, I was already more than 15 minutes late for the Chinese language exam. I was stopped outside the school gate that year. Even though I had completed the remaining exams, I could only attend an ordinary junior college because I scored 0 in Chinese, and the 38 people who abandoned the exams blamed everything on me. They said, since I knew there was no chance for a makeup exam, why didn't I desperately try to stop it? Jiang Tiantian's father, along with other parents, blocked the entrance to my home, forcing me to write a letter of admission of responsibility and to confess that it was my sarcastic remarks that provoked Jiang Tiantian, which led to the entire class losing control. I disagree. In the chaos, Zhou Ziho's father pushed me down the stairs. As the back of my head hit the fire hydrant, I saw my mother rushing over to shield me, only to be trampled under their feet. When I opened my eyes again, I had returned to the night before the college entrance exam. In the class group chat, Jiang Tiantian's 59-second voice message had just been sent. I looked at the screen and smiled. This time, I won't try to reason with the crazy ones. I'll just make sure to keep the evidence safe and then enter the exam hall on time. I typed 2 lines. With that brain, even if you pass, it's useless. I says it can retake the exam. AI also says it can get into Tsinghua. Screenshot, screen recording, send the chat history, and exam instructions to the homeroom teacher together. Then leave the group. Shut down. Sleep. 2 months later, on the day the admission letter arrived, in front of my house, a dense crowd of people stood. This time, I connected the surveillance camera at the entrance to my phone. If they dared to make trouble, I'll make sure everyone sees clearly who exactly is the one who ruined their own life. June 16th, 10:03 p.m. He Zhizhou had just finished reviewing the mistakes in the last set of science exam papers when his phone vibrated. Class group chat. Jiang Tiantian sent a voice message. I stared at the line of text, my fingertips slightly cold. Memories from my previous life surged like a torn wound. Smoke, arguments, stairs, a fire hydrant, my mother's cries, all flashing through my mind. But this time, I didn't panic. I opened the screen recording and put on my headphones. 59 seconds. The first 3 seconds were silence. Then came the sound of sobbing. I broke up with Tao Rui. Jiang Tiantian's voice was nasal, as if she had been crying for a long time. He said he likes Lin Zhe from the class next door, and he's liked her for a long time. I don't want to take the exam anymore. My mind is filled with everything he said, and I can't focus on a single word. If you really consider me a friend, don't go to the exam hall tomorrow. Apply for a makeup exam with me instead. I've asked AI, and AI said it's possible. You can apply for a deferred or makeup exam for the college entrance exam, as long as there's a psychological reason. Please, I'm begging you. End of voice message. I took off my headphones, opened the browser, and pulled up the exam instructions page that I had long memorized. Absence from the exam will be treated as a score of 0. Arriving more than 15 minutes late will result in being barred from entering the exam site for that subject. These 2 rules were clearly written in my previous life. I posted a screenshot in the group chat, urgently advising them, stop messing around. Make sure you're at the exam hall on time tomorrow. What I got in return was an attack from 38 people. They called me cold-hearted, accused me of being jealous of Jiang Tiantian's success, and said I was speaking without empathy because I had good grades. What's even more ridiculous is that later, when they all scored 0 on the exam, They turned around and blamed me. Since you know you can't retake the exam, why not kneel down and beg them to let you take it? In this lifetime, I won't waste my breath. The group chat has already exploded. The first to reply was Zhou Zihai. Don't cry. Tian Tian. Tian Tian. What's that bastard Tao Rue anyway? I'm not taking the exam tomorrow. I'll stay with you. The second one was Jiang Tiantian's best friend, Li Siki. Sister, I'm standing by your side. What's an exam compared to you? You're more important than the exam. Messages started rolling in quickly after that. I'll stick with you to the end anyway. I probably won't get into a good school, so missing this one exam doesn't matter. Don't be sad. Tian Tian, we're all here for you. Retaking the exam is no big deal. With policy support, what AI says must be right. In less than 10 minutes, 38 people had expressed their stance. Except for me. And one more. Zhong Hojun, a repeat student. He repeated 2 years of study. And this year is his third time taking the college entrance examination. His profile picture is an image of Buddha, and his signature reads, "Another year. Go with the flow." In his previous life, he was also one of the few who did not give up on the exam. It's just that later, when public opinion flared up, everyone focused on criticizing me, and no one remembered him. I took screenshots of the entire group chat from beginning to end. I specifically captured the original message where Jiang Tiantian said, "AI says it's okay," along with the timestamps. When 38 people expressed their opinions, then I started typing first. With that kind of brain, taking the exam would be a waste of time. The group chat fell silent for 2 seconds. Zhou Jiahao jumped in. He Shi Zhao. What do you mean by that? Tian Tian is already in this state, and you're still making sarcastic remarks. Li Siki followed suit and scolded. Do you have any empathy? Tian Tian is crying so hard. I didn't explain. Explanations only make sense when given to those who are clear-headed. Article 2. AI says it can take a makeup exam. AI also said it could get into Tsinghua University. After sending that, I added a screenshot of the exam guidelines. The red box highlights absence will be treated as 0 points. Then I saved all the chat records and forwarded them to our homeroom teacher. Mr. Lee, there's a group discussion in the class chat about collective exam absence. Jiang Tiantian claimed that AI said college entrance exam could be retaken due to psychological reasons. And she has already influenced several people to say they won't go to the exam tomorrow. Chat records have been saved, and I recommend notifying parents immediately. After sending it, I didn't wait for a reply. I tapped the top right corner, quit the group chat, then sent a private message to Jiang. Hojun take the exam normally tomorrow. Don't believe in a makeup exam. Jiang Hojun replied quickly. Don't worry, it's the third year. Even if I have to crawl, I'll make it to the exam hall. I smiled. Good luck. Then I shut down the computer. Throw the phone into the drawer. Pull the blanket over. The cicadas outside the window are still chirping. In my previous life, I struggled until 3 a.m. trying to save these people. And the next day I was dazed, unable to even keep my own path in this life. I only spent 5 minutes sleep. At the same time, Jiang Hajuan's rented room. He looked at the notification of my leaving the group, his finger hovering over the screen. Hesitating for a moment, the group chat was already erupting with curses. Hey, he Zhizhou, why are you pretending to be so clear-headed? He won't even accompany Tian Tian, and he's being so sarcastic. No matter how well this kind of person does on exams, they won't have any friends. Jiang Hajuan silently set the group chat to Do Not Disturb. He placed his phone on the desk 2 m away from the bed and opened his English vocabulary book. The first page was the word abandon. He stared at the word for 2 seconds, then suddenly cursed. How fitting. Then he covered his face with the book. Third year now. No one can make me abandon the college entrance exam. He turned off the light and went to sleep. The group chat of the remaining 38 people stayed lively until 3 a.m. They discussed how terrible Tao Rue was, discussing how pitiful Jiang Tiantian is, discussing how to go to the academic affairs office together tomorrow to submit the application for deferred exams, discussing that if the school doesn't approve, we'll all sit in front of the academic affairs office to protest. No one went to the official website of the Education Examination Institute to check the policy. Not a single person called to ask the homeroom teacher. Nor did anyone seriously consider the college entrance exam was the most important test of their lives. It wasn't a class activity that could be casually postponed by a single tear from Zhang Tiantian. June 7th, 7:15 a.m. when I left home. With my backpack, the breakfast stall downstairs had just opened. I bought 2 meat buns and a cup of soy milk. The shop owner saw me and said, with a smile, "Good luck on the college entrance exam." "Young man," I nodded. "Thank you." On the way to the exam site, I turned on my phone and glanced at the early morning. The first one, Zizhou. I saw it. Second message. I've already sent a message in the group and called several parents, but many of them didn't answer. Don't worry about it. Just focus on your exam. Third message. Thank you for the reminder. I'll be at the exam hall on time tomorrow. I turned my phone off again. The exam center is located at City Number 3 Middle School. When I arrived, there were already scattered candidates lining up at the school gate. I glanced around, but no one from our class was there. That was normal. They were probably still lost in the fantasy of group retakes. By now, I finished my soy milk, threw the paper cup into the trash, and walked through the school gate. The exam location is posted at the entrance of a teaching building. Room 307 on the 3rd floor. I pushed the door open and entered the classroom, where about 10 people were seated, all from other schools. Not a single familiar face. I found my seat and arranged my stationery one by one. 2 2B pencils, 3 black pens, 1 eraser, admission ticket pressed under the corner of the desk. The invigilator entered, expression serious. "Classmates, turn off your phones and place them on the front podium." I raised my hand. "Teacher, I didn't bring my phone in. It's already turned off and left at home." The invigilator nodded. "All right." 8:30, the exam bell rings. The Chinese language test paper is handed out. I see the first question on classical poetry recitation, and a slight smile curls at the corner of my mouth. It really did appear on the test. The set of papers I looked at last night had a question almost exactly the same. I picked up my pen and began to write. At the same time, Office of Academic Affairs, Number 2 Middle School. 38 students were blocking the doorway. Zhang Tiantian stood at the front, her eyes red and swollen, clutching an A4 sheet of paper covered in writing. It was her application for a deferred exam drafted at 2 o'clock in the morning. When Director Wang opened the door, he was startled by the scene. "Shouldn't you be in the exam room?" Zhang Tiantian took a step forward. "Director Wang, we would like to apply for a deferred exam." Director Wang's expression shifted from surprise to confusion, then from confusion to a grim, ashen hue. "Postponing the exam? Who told you that the college entrance exam can be postponed?" Zhang Tiantian's voice trembled. "With tears. What's being said online? What AI says is okay, because of psychological reasons." "What AI?" Director Wang's voice immediately rose sharply. "The college entrance exam. The National Unified Exam. And you're telling me AI says it can be postponed." He snatched the application form, glanced at it for 3 seconds, and his face turned green. "Unable to take the exam due to emotional trauma. Recommended re-examination based on AI consultation results." Director Wang was so angry his hands were shaking. "I've worked in the education system for 23 years, and I've never seen such an application before. Absence from the exam means a score of 0. Those who are more than 15 minutes late will not be allowed to enter the examination room. Unless you have suffered a serious accident, with a hospital certificate and approval from the Provincial Education Authority, you might be eligible for special procedures. You're heartbroken. You're asking me for a makeup exam. Why don't you apply to the college entrance exam question setting group and ask them to postpone the exam until you figure things out?" The Academic Affairs office was deathly quiet. Someone whispered, "Is it still too late for us to go to the exam hall now?" Director Wang glanced at the clock on the wall. It was 8:42. "Your exam center is at City Number 3 Middle School. The fastest drive from here takes 20 minutes. The exam started at 8:30. Yui took a deep breath. "It's over." 38 faces turned pale simultaneously. Zhang Tiantian's lips moved. But no words came out. Josie Hio's mouth hung open, as if someone had pressed pause on him. Lisiki's legs went weak, and she had to lean against the wall to keep from falling. A boy in the back row suddenly began to tremble. Jiang Tian, are you trying to harm us? Jiang Tian turned around abruptly. I'm not. I genuinely thought we could retake the exam. The AI said. The AI can go to hell. The boy broke down and shouted. Hu Zhijiao sent all the exam instructions to the group last night. He said missing the exam means 0 points. And you guys are blaming him. Do you believe a word an AI says? Have you checked the official website? Have you asked the teacher? Have you called the admissions office? You've done nothing. Yet, based on an AI's answer, you want 38 of us to give up the college entrance exam. Jiang Tian's tears fell once more. But this time, no one handed her a tissue. 8:45, I finished the first dictation question. Sunlight from outside the window fell on the corner of the table. Remember the sentence from last night's group chat. Hey, Hu Zhijiao, are you even human? I twirled my pen writing. Yes, I am human, so I know everyone must pay the price for their choices. The Chinese exam is over. When I walked out of the exam room, my phone was still turned off. Not looking at my phone during exams is a rule I set for myself. I went home for lunch at noon. My mom made me pork rib soup. How did the exam go? Not bad. Not bad means it's good. She pushed the soup in front of me before asking, did something really happen in your class? I looked up. My mother had a complicated expression. Your homeroom teacher called me this morning. Her voice was hoarse, saying that 38 students in your class collectively failed to take the exam. I nodded. Last night, a female classmate sent a voice message in the group chat saying she had just broken up and didn't want to take the exam anymore. So, she asked the whole class to apply for a makeup exam. With her, my mom fell silent for 2 seconds. Did anyone actually believe that? Yes. How many? 38. My mother's chopsticks stopped midair. What did you say? I repeated those 2 sentences. She was silent for 10 seconds. Then she smiled that I didn't raise you in vain kind of smile. You're quite accurate. With your criticism. I corrected. It's not criticism. It's stating the facts. My mom placed a piece of spare ribs in my bowl. Good luck on your math exam this afternoon. But I knew this wasn't over. Math class in the afternoon. When I got home in the evening, I turned on the computer. Messages flooded in like crazy. Teacher Lee sent 17 messages. The first few were expressions of concern. The rest were all frantic and overwhelmed. The school has already intervened. Jiang Xinyan's parents have arrived. Zhao Zhihao's mother cried in the academic affairs office all afternoon. You focus on your exam first, and we'll talk about other things after it's over. I replied, Teacher, I will only cooperate with the normal investigation. I will not accept any contact from classmates or parents during the exam period. I have backed up the group chat records. Teacher Lee quickly replied, Good. You did the right thing. Then came a private message. More than 20 classmates contacted me. There are questions. Izajao, you knew all along that retakes weren't allowed, so why didn't you say more? There are pleas for help. Brother, please ask Teacher Lee if there's any other way. I'm begging you. There are those who curse me. You're just selfish. Going to take the exam yourself, without helping everyone else. I didn't reply to a single one. In my previous life, it all started with replying to the first message, and I was dragged into an endless emotional quagmire by these people. They don't want answers. They want someone who can take responsibility. I won't give them that chance again. Only the message from Jiang Haojuan was normal. Bro, did you figure out the third part of the last big math problem? I replied, I got the first 2 questions right. But guess the third one. Jiang Haojuan. All right. Then I'm balanced. Good luck. With the science section tomorrow. Me. Good luck. There are 40 people in the class. Only 2 people are discussing the exam. For the other 38 people, their world has already collapsed after 8:30 in the morning. June 8th, Science. English. When I walked out of the examination hall after the last subject, the sky was already a bit dark. A person was standing at the school gate. Jiang Tian. She was wearing a white dress. Her hair was loose, and her makeup had already smudged. Seeing me come out, she took a step forward. Yeezy's ho. I stopped. Her eyes were frighteningly red. Are you especially proud? You were the only one in the class who took the exam. Aren't you feeling pretty good about it? I look at her. And Jong Ho Jun, too. People. She chokes, her voice growing sharper. Do you have any idea what situation we're in right now? All 38 people were absent from the exam. All scored 0. With no remedial measures. Do you know what this means? I said calmly. It means you either repeat the year or go straight into society. Jiang Tiantian's face turned pale. You just left the group last night. You knew we couldn't retake the exam. So, why didn't you try to persuade us seriously? I looked at her and suddenly found it ridiculous. Seriously advising? I sent out the exam guidelines. I reminded you that AI cannot set policies for the Education Examination Authority. I'm sending the chat records to the homeroom teacher. You tell me, what else do I need to say to persuade you? Jiang Tiantian's lips trembled. Is that what you call persuasion? You said we'd have no use for our brains even if we passed the exam. Yeah. I nodded. Literal meaning. Tears fell from her eyes. How can you be so cold-hearted? Your cold-bloodedness is what's truly cruel. I didn't give her the chance to continue her performance. You knew your grades were average. You knew the college entrance exam was crucial for everyone. Yet, you still sent a voice message the night before the exam, manipulating the whole class with, if you really consider me a friend. You said Tao Rui likes Lindsay. Have you actually checked? Does Lindsay have a boyfriend? Has Tao Rui ever personally said he likes her? Or are you just making up the story that he cheated on you just to make yourself seem more pitiful? Jiang Tiantian's face instantly turned as pale as transparent. You're talking nonsense. I'm talking nonsense. I took out my phone and turned on the recording. From the moment you said your first sentence, I started recording. If you think you haven't lied, call Tao Rui right now. Put it on speakerphone and let him explain it clearly in front of everyone. Jiang Tiantian froze. He watched his hair coldly. Are you brave enough? She did not move. Of course, she was not brave enough. In my previous life, it wasn't until I was cyberbullied to the point of being unable to leave my house that Tao Rui finally clarified the situation in a WeChat Moments post. He said he had nothing to do with Lindsay. Lindsay was his cousin and already had a boyfriend. He said it was Jiang Tiantian who actually broke up with him. He said Jiang Tiantian kicked him out of the class group chat, which is why he sent that voice message in this life. I won't let the truth come so late. I walked past Jiang Tiantian and moved forward. After a few steps, I stopped. Jiang Tiantian, missing the exam is your own choice. Don't come looking for me, and don't come looking for my family. If you keep harassing me, I'll call the police directly. The third day after the exam, the incident made local news. Mass exam absence at a certain high school. 38 senior students suspected to have abandoned college entrance exam due to AI advice. The news did not name the school or class, but everyone in the local area knew which school it was. The comments section exploded. Do they really believe AI when it says they can retake the exam? Are these 38 people just using their brains as decorations? Even I, who never took the college entrance exam, know that missing it means a 0 score. Are these really senior high school students? That girl is terrifying. Breaking up with someone and dragging the whole class down with her. Can't blame her entirely, right? Out of 38 people, wasn't there even one who checked the policy? There was one who did check. Him. The one who left the group with that kind of brain power. Even if you pass the exam, it's all for nothing. That line really hit hard. After the news broke, the school held an emergency meeting. The Education Bureau has intervened in the investigation. Jiang Qinchen's father, Jiang Weibang, rushed to the school and caused a scene, demanding that the 38 students be given a chance to retake the exam. Director Wang immediately retorted, "Parent, even if I were to bring the Minister of Education here, I still couldn't give you this chance to retake the exam. The National Unified Exam is not some hobby class in your neighborhood community." Jiang Weibang slammed the table and kicked chairs, only to be stopped by security guards as he left. He pointed at the teaching building and cursed. This school is ruining the future of its students. The security guard muttered from behind. Who's really wasting? Whose time here? Same day. Tao Rue posted a long WeChat Moments update. The reason I know is that I sent him the voice recording of Jiang Tian and the group chat screenshots together in the previous life. He stayed silent for too long, dragging me into the vortex as well. This life, I won't take the blame for anyone. Tao Rue's WeChat Moments post is very long. I didn't break up with Jiang Tian. She told me 2 days ago that she wanted to break up because I ranked third in the mock exam for the whole school. She thinks that after the college entrance exam, I will definitely go to another province for university, and a long-distance relationship is meaningless. I said I would apply to a local university then. She said, "Are you crazy? I'm not worth you doing this." Then she blocked me. Lindsay is my cousin, and her boyfriend is my middle school classmate. Jiang Tian kicked me out of the class group chat before sending the voice message. I took the college entrance exam normally in the second science exam hall at number 3 high school. I only found out now that she fabricated a cheating story about me, and Lindsay causing 38 people to skip the exam. With her, I can't comment on her, but I must clarify that I did not cheat. This WeChat Moments post was screenshotted and shared in the parent group chat. The group chat exploded. Jiang Tian's image shifted from the poorer class beauty, who was hurt by a scumbag, to the culprit, who spread rumors about her ex-boyfriend and pressured the whole class into skipping the exam. But I don't think that's the whole truth. Jiang Tian was indeed heartbroken. Yet heartbreak is not a free pass to ruin someone else's life. What she truly wanted was to drag everyone down to her level. If she can't do well, she'll make sure no one else can either. If she can't maintain her dignity, she'll drag the whole class down with her. That's the most malicious part. June 25th, checking scores. I sat in front of the computer and entered my admission ticket number. The page loaded in 3 seconds. The scores popped up. Chinese 132, Math 141, English 138.278, and Science. Total score 689. I stared at the screen for a few seconds. In my previous life, I was rejected for being late to the Chinese exam and had to continue with a 0 score. In this lifetime, everything has come back. My mom, standing beside me, saw the score and dropped the apple she was holding right onto the floor. 689, yeah. You said there were 2 multiple choice questions you weren't sure about, didn't you? I guessed right. My mother fell silent for 2 seconds, then bent down to pick up the apple, wiped it on her clothes, and handed it to me. Eat. Her eyes were red, but she didn't cry. I took a bite. It was sweet. I sent a message to Jiang Tian. How much? He replied, 587. Me. It's settled. Jiang Tian. I'm definitely getting in. 3 years. And I finally made it. I just cried in the bathroom for 5 minutes. Me. Come out. It's not dignified to cry in the toilet. Jiang Tian. Get lost. Then he sent another voice message. The voice carried a nasal tone. Brother, thank you for the reminder that night. I knew what he was thanking me for that night. 38 people chose to stand by you to the end. If he followed suit, the 3 years of repeating would be completely wasted. Sometimes, clarity itself is a kind of ability. After the scores came out, the class group chat turned into a battlefield. I didn't add it back, but Jiang Tian occasionally forwarded me screenshots. Someone was cursing Jiang Tian. You lied to us, saying you could take a makeup exam. You ruined my life. Some blame themselves. How could I have believed it? My mom won't even talk to me anymore. Others shift the blame. Xiao Zihao was the first to agree. If he hadn't taken the lead, I wouldn't have followed. Xiao Zihao replied, Your mother's head. You have no brain. Blame me. The two exchanged over 100 insults before being silenced by Teacher Li. Teacher Li posted in the group. Things have already happened. Repeating a year is a way out. It's not shameful. No one replied, because everyone knows what repeating a year means. Going back to study for another year of senior high school. Facing pressure again. Facing parents' disappointment again. And not every family can afford the cost of this year. But so what? The price should not be paid by me. What truly brought the trouble to my doorstep was a phone call from Jiang Tian's mother. She called my mother. They live in the same neighborhood, so we see each other all the time. When my mom answered the phone, I was eating watermelon right beside her. She hadn't intended to use speakerphone. She cutting vegetables and couldn't free her hands. Jiang Qinchin's mother's voice came through the phone, sharp and strained. "Sures was Mom. We've known each other for quite some time now, and I'd like to talk to you about something." My mom asked, "What is it?" "About what happened with Tiantin this time. You know, but I think your family, Shurzwa, also bears some responsibility." The watermelon in my mouth almost sprayed out. My mom stopped cutting vegetables. "What did you say?" Jiang Qinchin's mom immediately said. "He insulted Tiantin in the group chat, and then left." If he had tried to persuade her properly, the other classmates wouldn't have been so determined to stand by Tiantin. My mom put down the kitchen knife, picked up her phone, and turned off the speaker. She went into the bedroom and closed the door. I couldn't hear what was said after that. 2 minutes later, she came out, her face calm. I asked, "What did she say?" My mother said, "She said your 2 sentences upset Jiang Tiantin, making her even sadder." So the classmates in the group felt even more reluctant to leave. I put down the watermelon. "So, you're saying I'm at fault for telling the truth?" "Yeah. If I don't say those 2 sentences, will they go take the exam?" She said, "Maybe." I laughed. Maybe. These 3 words had appeared in my previous life as well. They said, if I had knelt down and begged back then, perhaps the whole class would have gone. They said, if I had been a little gentler with Jiang Tiantin, perhaps she wouldn't have led everyone to skip the exam. They said so many perhaps, but they just wouldn't say one thing. I was wrong. I asked my mom, "How did you respond?" My mom picked up the kitchen knife and continued chopping vegetables. "I'm saying your daughter cried for 59 seconds the night before the college entrance exam and made the whole class give up on it. Do you think my son should be held responsible? Take care of your own daughter first. Then come talk to me about responsibility." Then I hung up. I looked at my mother. "Mom, you're quite cultured," she said calmly. "Thank you. I scored 200 points lower than you on the college entrance exam. That's still impressive." She gave me a cold look, but the Jiang family clearly wasn't going to let it go. Jiang Weibang began contacting other parents of students who had missed the exam, hoping to unite and pressure the Education Bureau to handle the matter specially. He said the children had been misled by AI and influenced by emotions, and that young people should be given a chance to make mistakes. 23 parents signed the document. The Education Bureau quickly responded. The National College Entrance Examination is a national unified examination. Absence from the exam is considered as automatic abandonment of the subject, and the score will be recorded as 0. Currently, there is no legal basis or policy precedent for arranging makeup exams due to group emotional incidents. Students concerned are advised to consider repeating the year. A single letter of response. The last fantasy of 23 families shattered. Thus, they turn their gaze toward me. July 10th. My admission letter has arrived. A red EMS envelope, quite thick. Admitted to Huazhong University of Science and Technology. Majoring in computer science and technology. First choice. My mother took the notice and read it 3 times, then placed it on the TV cabinet in the living room. Anyone who came in could see it. Zhong Hejuan's notice arrived 2 days late. A well-known first-tier university in Hubei province. Hubei University. Major mathematics and applied mathematics. He took a photo and sent it to me, although it's not a 985 university. For someone who has repeated grades for 3 years, this is already like ancestral graves emitting blue smoke. I replied, "Don't just thank your ancestors' graves, also thank your Buddha profile picture." He replied, with a middle finger emoji. The real trouble came on the evening of the day my acceptance letter arrived. I was on the balcony, helping my mom hang up clothes. The smart door monitor suddenly popped up a notification. Someone is lingering at the door. I opened the screen. A crowd of people stood densely at the entrance of the unit. Zhao Zhihao, Li Siki, Wang Yiming, Zhang Yuqing, and Jiang Tiantian's family, and several parents. Exactly the same as in the previous life. The difference is that in the previous life, I was completely unprepared and got cornered in the hallway after opening the door. This time, I immediately locked the door from the inside, turned on the screen recording again, simultaneously dialed the property management phone and the emergency number. Hello. There are multiple people gathered at my doorstep, suspected of causing trouble. I have surveillance footage and request that property management come up first to maintain order. After that, I sent a message to Teacher Lee. Teacher, there are students who skipped the exam, and their parents are blocking my doorstep, possibly related to the exam abandonment incident. I've already called the police to document it. Teacher Lee replied instantly, don't open the door. Wait for the police. The doorbell rang shortly after. 1, 2, more than a dozen. Jiang Weibang's heavy voice came through. He Ji Zhao. Come out. What are you hiding for? My daughter has been provoked to the state by you. Aren't you going to come out and give an explanation? Zhao Zhihao also shouted from outside. He Ji Zhao. Aren't you good at talking? Come out. I didn't open the door. I turned on the door intercom. My tone calm. I've already called the police. Outside the door. It fell silent for a moment. Jiang Weibang sneered. Call the police. You still dare to call the police? You've ruined the futures of 38 children. And you still think you're in the right. I said. First, I did not ruin anyone's future. Your children are adults. And missing the exam was their own choice. Second, I posted the exam guidelines in the group and reminded everyone of the consequences of missing the exam. Third, Jiang Tiantian spread rumors about Tao Rui cheating, and I have recordings and screenshots. Fourth, you are now blocking my doorstep, threatening me and my family, and the surveillance is recording. If you want to talk, go to the police station to talk. The door suddenly erupted in chaos. Someone called me heartless. Someone was crying. Someone said they were going to break down the door. My mother stood behind me, her face pale, but she didn't stop me. In my previous life, she protected me only to be pushed to the ground. This life, I won't let anyone touch her again. The property management arrived first. The police arrived 10 minutes later. The crowd at the entrance was persuaded to move downstairs. I went downstairs, with my phone and evidence. As soon as Jiang Weibang saw me, he pointed at me and shouted, It's him! It's this kid! He knew perfectly well that makeup exams weren't allowed. Yet he still provoked my daughter in the group chat. I opened my phone and laid out the timeline in front of the police. This is a group chat record Jiang Tiantian made. It's clear in her voice message that she wanted the whole class to apply for a makeup exam with her. Before I spoke, more than 30 people had already expressed their agreement. I sent a screenshot of the exam instructions to remind everyone of the consequences of missing the exam. After that, I left the group and sent the chat history to the homeroom teacher. I did not organize, induce, or force anyone to skip the exam. On the contrary, I was the only one who publicly opposed this decision. The police officer's expression turned serious after reading the record. Why are you coming to block someone's door just because your child missed the exam? Jiang Weibang was still trying to argue. He spoke in such an offensive way, upsetting my daughter. I cut him off directly. The law does not protect the fragile-hearted. She misled 38 people into skipping the exam with false information. I'm just stating two truths. You can go to court and sue to let the judge decide whose actions cause serious consequences. Jiang Weibang's face was ashen. Jiang Tiantian stood behind the crowd, her eyes red and swollen, yet she dared not say a word. I look at her. Jiang Tiantian, if you want me to take the blame, fine. Now, in front of the police, make it clear. Did Tao Rui cheat or not? She trembles all over. Jiang Weibang's face changed. Don't bully my daughter. I sneered. You're blocking my door demanding rights. And I'm bullying her by asking her to tell the truth. The police also looked at Jiang Tiantian. Classmate, is Tao Rui's matter related to your decision to skip the exam? Jiang Qingjin's lips trembled for a long time. Then she finally lowered her head. Misunderstood. Just those 4 words. Jiang Weibang's face turned completely red, with embarrassment. The parents around weren't fools, either. Someone immediately shouted at Jiang Tiantian. Misunderstanding. With just one word, misunderstanding. My son got 0 points on the college entrance exam. Why didn't you say so earlier? You've ruined us. The scene descended into chaos. The police sternly intervened. I no longer paid attention to them. I handed over the evidence to the police for record, clearly stating, if they come to my home to harass me again in the future, I will formally pursue legal action. After saying that, I took my mother's hand and went home. When the hallway door closed, there were still cries and arguments outside, but that had nothing to do with me anymore. That night, I installed a high-definition camera at my front door. The property manager couldn't help but sigh as he helped me move the ladder. Kid, getting into college is a good thing. So why did it attract these people? I adjusted the camera angle. Because they fell into a pit themselves and want someone to cushion their fall. The property manager was taken aback for a moment, then shook his head. Then don't go soft-hearted. I smiled. I won't. In my previous life, it was because of my soft heart that I was gradually dragged into the quagmire step by step. Jiang Tiantian cried, and I answered the phone. Classmates insulted me, and I explained. Parents came to my door, and I thought they were all parents of classmates, so I didn't want to make things too awkward. Finally, they didn't thank me for my concession. They only thought I was easy to bully. In this life, I divided the evidence into 3 parts. Part 1 handed over to the police station for record. 1 copy sent to teacher Lee and the school. 1 copy stored in the cloud drive, set to be sent automatically at scheduled times if any further accidents happen to my family. These materials will be automatically sent to the Education Bureau, local media, and several legal bloggers. I no longer rely on the bad guys having a change of heart. I only believe in evidence and rules. The next day, the first people who truly came to apologize arrived. Joseheo stood downstairs in front of my house. He had lost a lot of weight. His eye sockets were dark, and he looked like he'd been drained of all energy. His father didn't come. I heard that after his father found out the truth, he hung him up and beat him, breaking 2 clotheslines. When I went downstairs, he was standing under the shade of a tree, holding 2 bottles of iced tea. Hello, Seheo. His voice was hoarse. I've come to apologize to you. I stood 2 m away from him. Speak. Joseheo lowered his head. That night, I shouldn't have yelled at you. You were right, and I shouldn't have joined in the teasing. With Jiang Tiantian, I went to the academic affairs office yesterday and asked, and the teacher said the review materials will be distributed next week. My dad has already found a review school for me. He paused, his fingers tightening around the plastic bag. I just can't accept it. My mom stayed up late to accompany me while I studied, and my dad worked extra night shifts for half a year just to afford my tutoring classes. Turns out I ruined them all because of someone else's words. I looked at him. You didn't ruin them. Joseheo suddenly looked up. I continued. You're ruining your own year. Your parents' lives aren't over. They're just heartbroken because of you. Don't make responsibility sound so grand, as if you're some tragic hero. Repeat a year and pay back what needs to be paid. Zhao Zhixiao's eyes reddened. You really don't know how to comfort someone at all. I have no obligation to comfort you. He smiled, looking even more miserable than if he had cried. Same here. He placed the iced tea on the stone bench downstairs. Here. The internet says you love this drink. I'll take it, but that doesn't mean I forgive you. He nodded. I know. He turned and walked a few steps, then stopped. Hey Zhixiao. MHM. If you had scolded me a few more times that night, maybe I would have truly woken up. I looked at him calmly. Zhao Zhixiao. Don't leave the choice to others anymore. Scolding you once won't wake you up, and even scolding you 10 times might not do it either. What you need to do is not wait for others to wake you up with criticism. Next time, don't fall asleep yourself. His back stiffened. Finally, he just raised his hand and waved, then left. On the 3rd day, Li Sixi and her mother came. This time, they didn't dare to ring the doorbell. I called my mom first, asking if we could meet at the coffee shop outside the neighborhood. My mom looked at me. I said, sure. In the coffee shop, Li Sixi's mother was elegantly made up. and sat upright. She spoke politely. Ji Xiao. Auntie isn't here to cause trouble this time. I just want to ask. Do you think Tian was intentionally doing it back then? I looked at her. Are you thinking of suing Jiang Tian? She was momentarily embarrassed. A lawyer said that if we could prove she intentionally spread false information to induce people to skip the exam, we might be able to claim civil damages. I asked, so, you came to me hoping I'd be a witness? She nodded immediately. You have the recordings, the screenshots. If you're willing to come forward, I interrupted her. I can provide objective chat records, but I won't conclude for anyone that Jiang Tian must have acted intentionally. Li Sixie's mother's face changed. Don't you also think there's something wrong with her? Having a problem doesn't mean all the responsibility lies with her. I looked at Li Sixie, who had been keeping her head down. You believed her when she said she could retake the exam. She said Tao, we did, and you believed her. She cried, and you gave up your own exams. Jiang Tian is at fault, but so are you. If you want to sue, go ahead. The court will decide, but don't think you can walk away completely clean. Li Sixie's mother's smile faltered. You child, why are you speaking so harshly? I said calmly, because it's not me whose future has been ruined. Li Sixie suddenly spoke. Mom, forget it. Her mother frowned. What do you mean? Forget it? Li Sixie raised her head. Her eyes read. He's right. I have no mind of my own. I shouldn't have handed my life over to Tian. Nor should I now shift all the blame onto her. She looked at me. Ezegio, thank you for being willing to tell the truth. I didn't say you're welcome. To be honest is never difficult. The hard part is finding someone willing to listen. On the fourth day, Jiang Tian arrived alone. No parents. No classmates. She was wearing a worn-out t-shirt, her hair tied in a ponytail, and she looked noticeably thinner. She stood at the entrance of the neighborhood for a long time, then sent me a message. Can we talk? Right here at the entrance. I won't go inside. I went down. It wasn't because I was soft-hearted. It was because I wanted to completely end this relationship. She handed me a bottle of iced black tea. I don't know what to buy, but I remember you used to drink this often. I took it, but didn't open it. What do you want to say? Jiang Tian lowered her head, her fingernails scratching at the bottle's label. I went to see Tao Rui. He said he wouldn't forgive me. He said, because of that voice message I sent. He was called a scumbag for 3 days. His grandmother also saw the news and got so angry her blood pressure spiked. Her voice trembled. I just realized that a lie isn't just over once it's told. I didn't respond. She continued, I also met with Xiao Zihao and the others. Some people cursed me, some refused to see me, and some say they never want to hear my name again for the rest of their lives. I know I deserve it. Shi Zijiao. I'm not here today to ask for your forgiveness. I just want to ask you, if it were you, how would you make it up to them? I looked at her. Can't make up for it. Jiang Tian was stunned. I said, what they lost was a chance to take the college entrance examination as fresh graduates. This thing can't be compensated. What you can do is publicly apologize, clarify the rumors about Tao Rui, and explain clearly what you have done. The rest, let them decide whether to pursue you or not. Jiang Tiantian's lips turned pale. If I publicly apologize, my dad will go crazy. Then you can keep hiding behind your dad. My tone remained flat. Anyway, after hiding for so long, you've gotten used to it. Tears fell from her eyes. But this time, I didn't offer a tissue. She stood there for a long time, then finally nodded. I understand. That evening, Jiang Tian posted a public apology. She admitted that she had misunderstood Tao Rui. She acknowledged that Lin Zai is Tao Rui's cousin, admitting that night she had both an emotional breakdown and a selfish desire not to face the failure of the college entrance exam alone. She no longer used, I didn't mean to gloss over the situation. This apology once again pushed the incident to a small-scale trending topic. Many people are criticizing her, but others said, at least she finally told the truth. I didn't like it, nor did I comment. Her apology should be for those who missed the exam, not for me. The incident quickly made it to the hot search list again. It started with a marketing account posting a long article 38 students dropped out of exam due to a single audio clip, the only one, who went to the exam scoring 689 points. The article describes the incident in great detail. Audio content, group chat screenshot, response, my 2 sentences. They even included my grades and the school I was admitted to. But the last paragraph was written in a disgusting way. In an era that pursues humanization, should we consider whether the college entrance examination system should leave a window for these youthful impulses? I looked at those words and smiled. In my previous life, it was also a similar article. They portrayed Jang Tian as a teenage girl having an emotional breakdown, and the 38 students who abandoned the exam as young people misled by AI. Finally, they framed me as a high-achieving student who knew the danger but stood by coldly. This time, I will not remain silent. I have not accepted any media interviews, but I posted a moment on my social media accompanied by 4 screenshots of evidence. First image, Jiang Qintian's voice-to-text transcription. Second image, more than 30 people had already stated they would be absent before I spoke. Third image, a screenshot of the exam instructions I sent. Fourth image, a reminder message I sent to the homeroom teacher. The text is as follows. Regarding the matter circulating online, I will only make a few points. First, the 2 sentences I said that night were not sarcastic remarks. They were a normal reaction from a student about to take the college entrance exam to an absurd proposal. If you think the person pointing out no retake is allowed is the problem, then the problem lies with you. Second, some people say I should try to persuade them more. Persuade them about what? To stop believing what AI says? Do I really need to persuade them? Do you need me to remind you to wipe your ass when you go to the bathroom? Third, before I spoke, more than 30 people had already expressed their intention to skip the exam. In other words, they didn't make their decision because of my influence. They had already completed their group pledge of loyalty. Fourth, I posted the official exam guidelines, reminded everyone of the consequences of skipping the exam, and forwarded the group chat records to the homeroom teacher. I've done everything I could. Fifth, I don't think I've done anything extraordinary. I just attended an exam that every senior high school student should have taken. This doesn't deserve praise, just as breathing doesn't deserve praise. Finally, I wish the 38 students all the best in their future endeavors, whether they choose to retake the exam or pursue other paths. Life isn't limited to just the college entrance exam. But before making a choice, think it through. Don't trust AI. Trust yourself. My iced tea is finished. Who can send me a case? This WeChat Moments post was screenshotted and forwarded to Weibo. Within an hour, it was shared over 50,000 times. Top comment. Do you need me to remind you to wipe after using the toilet? The best response of the year. Second most popular comment. The chain of evidence is too complete. Before he spoke, over 30 people had already expressed their views, indicating that he was definitely not the cause of the missed exam. Third most popular comment. He just told 2 truths, left the group, turned off his phone, and went to take the exam. It's not him who's wrong, but those people who entrust their lives to AI. And tears. Fourth most popular comment. It's so disgusting how Jiang Tian spread rumors about her ex-boyfriend cheating. If she hadn't claimed how Rui was cheating, how could so many people have felt sorry for her? Fifth most popular comment. There's no need to open a window for impulse in the college entrance examination system. Because once the window is opened, those who jump in first are always the well-connected ones. Public opinion has completely reversed. The Jiang family no longer dares to use the media to exert pressure. That night, Jiang Tian sent me a friend request. The application note has only 1 sentence. He Zhizhou. I'm sorry. I did not pass. Not every apology is worth being caught. But the Jiang family's farce wasn't over yet. After that influencer's long article was debunked by me, Jiang Weibang personally called my mother. This time, his tone was much softer. Xie Zhao's mom. With all this online drama blowing up, it's not good for either of the kids. Do you think you could ask Xie Zhao to delete that WeChat post? My mom had the speakerphone on. While she was peeling an apple for me, she glanced at me. I shook my head. My mom smiled and said, No, Jiang Weibang was clearly choked. We can compensate. Compensate for what? Psychological damage. You name your price. My mother handed me the peeled apple. Mr. Jiang, my son has no psychological damage. He did well on the exam and was admitted successfully. The ones who truly suffered are your daughter and those 37 students. If you're going to pay, you should compensate them first. There was a long silence on the other end of the phone. Jiang Weibang lowered his voice. Do you have to be so ruthless? My mother's face instantly turned cold. Mr. Jiang, it was you who blocked the door, and you who brought in the media to stir up trouble. Now you're saying we're being ruthless. My son in his previous life. She abruptly stopped herself mid-sentence. My fingers paused. Fortunately, Jiang Weibang didn't detect anything wrong, and only sneered. Fine. Then don't regret it. The call ended. My mom held the phone, her face turning slightly pale. Mom. She looked at me. I whispered, have you ever had dreams? Too. She was silent for a long time, her eyes gradually turning red. I dreamed you were covered in blood. I dreamed the hallway was full of people. I dreamed I kept calling you, but you wouldn't wake up. My throat feels as if something is stuck in it. It turns out I'm not the only one who remembers. Or perhaps she didn't fully reincarnate, but she saw the outcome of her previous life in a nightmare. No wonder in this life, she has stood by my side from beginning to end, never taking a step back. I put down the apple and hugged her. This time, it won't happen again. My mom nodded firmly. If anyone dares to touch you again, I'll fight them to the death. I laughed. No need to struggle. Just call the police. She laughed, too, but tears fell. Jiang Weibang indeed had not given up. 2 days later, a new post suddenly appeared online. The title was, Should high-scoring candidates bear moral responsibility? The overlooked indifferent bystanders in the 38 exam absentees incident. The post was written in a very insidious manner. It didn't mention my full name, but it revealed nearly all the details about my exam scores, school, major, and even the residential community I live in. The article claimed that I clearly saw the group spiraling out of control, but only cared about my own college entrance exam, refusing to take the time to persuade them one by one. It said I humiliated my classmates, with the remark, even if you have the brains, taking the exam would be a waste, which amplified Jiang Qinchin's emotional breakdown. To say a truly kind person shouldn't just preserve evidence, but should save their classmates. This time, I didn't wait for public opinion to escalate. I directly took screenshots of the post, along with a recording of Jiang Weibang's previous threatening phone call, and sent them to the police station. I also forwarded them to a lawyer. At 3 p.m., the lawyer's letter was posted regarding the false content published by the online account Education Observation Eye, the disclosure of a minor's home address, and the malicious incitement of online harassment. He Zhizhao and his guardians have entrusted lawyers to reserve the right to pursue legal responsibility for defamation, privacy infringement, and provoking trouble. Below the lawyer's letter, I added only one sentence. I am kind, but not a saint. Whoever spreads rumors, I will sue. This comment has once again become a hot topic. Netizens reacted quickly this time. Finally, it's not the kind of victim who only cries when being slandered. So satisfying. Is preserving evidence considered cold-hearted? Does that mean only kneeling and begging one by one counts as kindness? I am kind, but not a saint. A suggestion worth engraving in one's heart. Support the lawsuit. Leaking someone's address is truly despicable. That evening, the account deleted the post and apologized. The apology statement did not mention who was behind it, but netizens uncovered the truth faster than lawyers. The small studio behind the account had a partnership with Jiang Weibang's building materials company. The Jiang family dared not show their faces again this time. A few days later, the school organized a post-exam psychological counseling session. The attendees were the 38 students who had abandoned the exam, and their parents. I didn't want to go at first, but Teacher Lee called me. Chijo, the school hopes you can come, not to speak, just to listen in. I refused outright. Teacher, I'm not going. Teacher Lee paused. I know you don't want to get involved again. It's not that I don't want to get involved. It's just unnecessary. I said, what they need is psychological counseling, not to see me as a living control group. I'll go, but it will only provoke them. Teacher Lee sighed. You're right. Then I'll decline it for you. Thank you, teacher. Before hanging up the phone, Teacher Lee suddenly chuckled. Your sense of boundaries is clearer than many adults. I said, forced out. This is no joke. In my previous life, my biggest mistake was having no sense of boundaries. When others cried, would save them. When others scolded me, I explained. When others make mistakes, I find ways to make up for them. In the end, I became the most convenient trash can. In this life, I kicked over the trash can. Who makes the mess should clean it up themselves. On the day of the psychological counseling session, Jong Hojin sent me a few photos. He was invited by Teacher Lee. The reason is that he also didn't give up on the exam. And as a student, his words might carry more weight. In the photo, the auditorium was packed with people. In the front rows were parents with tear-swollen eyes. In the back rows were students who kept their heads down in silence. Jong Ho-jun sent a voice message. Bro, I now feel like a success coach. I replied, what are you talking about? He sent me a transcribed message. I said, I repeated school for 3 years, not because I'm particularly motivated, but because I didn't do well in the first 2 attempts. I know better than any of you what it feels like to miss the college entrance exam once. That's why I didn't go to the academic affairs office that day. Not because I'm cold-hearted, but because I was afraid of losing again. There are many things in life that can be repeated, but not every second chance comes free. The ticket to repeat a year is expensive, since you've already bought it. Don't throw the ticket away. After reading it, I replied, with 2 words. Okay. Shaeong Ho-yoon. Just 2 words. Me. Touching. Shaeong Ho-yoon pa Fong-soi. After a while, he sent another message. Jiang Tian also came. She bowed publicly to apologize. Jo Si-hye didn't forgive her, and Lee Si-ki didn't either. But she didn't cry. This time, she must have truly realized her mistake. I looked at the message and didn't reply. Knowing one's mistake doesn't mean the harm can be erased. But at least she finally began to take responsibility. August. The trending topic is slowly fading. Online memory is short, but the party concerns life won't be restored just because the trending topic fades. Teacher Lee called me. Yiyo. Teacher Lee, how have you been lately? Pretty good. I'll go to report in September. Wako is a good school, and the computer science program is also excellent. Thank you, teacher. There was a moment of silence on the other end of the phone. Teacher Lee sighed. This time, the school gave me a disciplinary action. I frowned. What kind of disciplinary action? A written warning. The reason is dereliction of duty in class management, failing to grasp the student's psychological state before the exam in a timely manner, leading to a major teaching incident. I remained silent. In my previous life, Teacher Lee was removed as homeroom teacher and forced to take a leave of absence by parents. In this life, because I had already sent the screenshot in advance, he at least kept his job, but the punishment still came. Teacher Lee smiled instead. Don't try to defend me. I don't feel wronged by this punishment. Why? That night, I saw the message you sent me. I also posted the notice in the group and called several parents. But honestly, I didn't play until the early hours of the morning one by one. I thought at the time that no matter how crazy they were, they wouldn't actually give up on the college entrance exam. The next morning, the school told me that only 2 candidates from the class had arrived. My legs are weak. His voice was slightly hoarse. Zijo, I've been teaching for 12 years, and I've never seen anything like this. 38 students, all with 0 scores. My class. I held the phone, saying nothing. Teacher Lee continued, I'm not blaming myself for your sake. I just want to tell you a lesson. Never overestimate the rationality of a group. A group of 18-year-olds on the eve of the college entrance exam, driven by emotions, a moral coercion, and herd mentality, made a disastrous decision. That night, the most clear-headed people were you and Jong Hyejin. You dared to speak out, and old Jong dared to stay silent. One resisted, with words, the other, with actions. Both stood firm in their own lives. I said, "Teacher, you also did what you were supposed to do. I can still do better." He paused. "Go to Huaka. Study hard. Don't waste your brain." I laughed. "Teacher Lee, you sound like you're in a martial arts movie. Get lost." The phone hung up. I looked out the window. Summer was coming to an end. The day before leaving home, I received Snorts, a message from Tao Rue. Throughout the 3 years of high school, we actually didn't speak much. He sent, "Hey Zijo, I heard you went to Huaxia University. Congratulations." I replied, "Thank you. And you?" "Wuhan University. History major." Impressive. The conversation should have ended here. But Tao Rue sent another message. "There's something I've never mentioned." That night, before Jiang Tian sent the voice message, she kicked me out of the class group. I stared at the line of text. "She kicked you?" "Yeah." Probably didn't want me to refute what she said in the group chat. After seeing the screenshot, I privately messaged 3 close classmates saying I wasn't cheating. Lindsay is my cousin. They didn't reply to me until the next morning. Someone said, "Don't worry, bro. We know you're not that kind of person. But Tian is really pitiful. So, let's just accompany her for a while." I read that sentence twice. In other words, even though some people knew Tao Rue hadn't cheated, they still chose to skip the exam. Not because of the truth. Not because of justice. Just because it's awkward to go back on my word. Just because everyone in the group agreed. And not going would make me seem like a bad friend. That's the most absurd part. Jiang Tian told the first lie. AI added the second layer of error. The word friend locked the third layer. And the herd effect completed the final harvest. I asked Tao Rue, "If you could do it all over again, what would you do?" Tao Rue took a long time to reply. "I will send out the truth, whether anyone believes it or not." I looked at the screen and replied, "At least you went and took the exam." "Yeah, that's enough." Conversation ended. I stuffed my phone into the side pocket of my suitcase. My mom was standing at the door. "Got everything?" Home. ID card. In the wallet. Admission letter. In the backpack's inner pocket. Iset there. Mom. Whole case won't fit in the suitcase. Her face remained unchanged. "I stuffed 4 bottles in for you. Drink them on the train." I looked at her, and suddenly my nose felt a little sore. In my previous life, she got caught up in that turmoil. Because of me, was beaten, and injured, and finally cried as she saw me buried. This life. She stood at the door, carefully checking my luggage. I said, "Thank you, Mom." She turned and went into the kitchen. Less sentimentality. "Come over and eat." This was the last dinner I had at home before leaving. The pork rib soup was very fragrant. September 1st. I stood at the train station entrance dragging my suitcase. The morning sun at 9 o'clock was bright. I arrived early. The train departs at 10:20. In the waiting hall, I found a corner and sat down, pulling out a bottle of iced black tea from my bag. My phone rang. "Jong Ho Jun, bro, have you arrived at the train station yet?" "Arrived. How about you?" "Taking the train this afternoon. 6 hours on a hard seat. Being so frugal. Being poor has its own way of living. I'll treat you to hot dry noodles when I get there." "All right." I asked him, "Old Jong, do you think we'll always be remembered for this in the future?" "Definitely." He let out a laugh. "From now on, when classmates introduce me, they'll have to say, 'This is the repeat student who took the college entrance exam with Yi Shurjae and that cheating incident.' How do you feel about that?" "Not much. I just took an exam. Any normal person would have taken the exam." I watched the people coming and going in the waiting hall, but 38 people didn't think that way. Jong Ho Jun fell silent for a second. "Bro, don't let the majority define the standards. Minorities can be right, too." I laughed. "When did you become so philosophical? Repeating 3 years of school. Just killing time. On the train, I lean against the window, watching the fields and distant mountains outside recede frame by frame. A boy about my age was sitting across from me. A Wuhan University admission notice envelope was tied to his suitcase. He glanced at me and asked, "Classmate, are you also a freshman?" Which school? Waka. What major? Computer. How many points did you get on the college entrance exam? 689. His eyes lit up. Shit. 680. Wait a second. He stared at me for 3 seconds. Are you the one? The one who had the brain power but still failed anyway? I looked down and took a sip of iced tea. How did you know? You've been trending. Bro. I laughed all afternoon when I saw the screenshot of your WeChat moments. Do you need me to remind you to wipe your ass when you go to the bathroom? This one I'm forwarding directly to my whole family. I was a bit speechless. That matter is already over. He shook his head. It's over for the netizens. But not for you. Right. I look out the window. Yes. For netizens. It's just a trending topic. For Jiang Tiantian and the others, it's a crack in their lives. For me, it's a chance to retake the exam. Not testing Chinese, mathematics, English, or comprehensive science, but to test whether I can stay on my own path. When everyone else is going mad, I held on. The train arrived at Wuhan Station at 2 p.m. There were many people at the exit. Freshmen dragging their luggage arrived in batches. I was about to look for the school shuttle bus when my phone rang. Jiang Tiantian. I didn't really want to answer, but after thinking about it, I still pressed the answer button. Hello. He's Shuzhou. Have you arrived in Wuhan? Just got here. I want to tell you something. Speak. Her voice was soft. I've enrolled in a remedial class. It starts on September 5th. I stopped in my tracks. Did you really go back to repeat the year? Yeah. My dad didn't agree at first. He thought it was embarrassing. My mom said, "We've already done the embarrassing thing. Now it's time to do something that isn't." Your mom is more insightful than your dad. There was a moment of silence on the other end of the phone. He's Shuzhou. I know you don't want to hear it, but I still have to say I'm sorry. That night, I was indeed more than just sad. I'm afraid I won't do well on the exam. I'm afraid I'll be the only one left rotting in place. So, I thought if everyone else stopped, I wouldn't look so bad. Her voice choked up. I know it's terrible. I didn't comfort her. I don't want to say it's okay, either. Because it's not okay. The lives of 38 people were indeed derailed by her voice message. But I don't want to crush her completely, either. Repeating a year is her own sentence. The exam room is the only place where she can prove herself again. I said, Jiang Tiantian, being unable to go on is an emotion, but dragging the whole class down is a choice. Wrong choice. Bear the consequences yourself. Don't use tears as a weapon anymore. On the other end of the phone, she was silent for a long time. I know. Then, study hard for the retake. Don't be late for the exam. She sniffled. Hey, Zhizhao, you really deserve a beating. I know, but you can't hit me now. I'm in Wuhan. She finally let out a soft laugh. Goodbye. Goodbye. The call ended. I tucked my phone back into my pocket. In the distance, a senior student was holding up a sign and shouting, "Freshman from Huazhong University of Science and Technology. This way." I dragged my suitcase over. The senior checked the list. Name, Yi Zhizhou. He lowered his head for a couple of seconds, then suddenly looked up. Wait, Yi Zhizhou. The one who I cut him off. That's Yi Zhizhou. The one who actually took the college entrance exam. He paused for a moment, then smiled. All right, get in the car. I dragged my suitcase onto the bus and sat down by the window. The bus started up and slowly pulled out of the train station. The streets of Wuhan unfolded outside the car window. The river crossing bridge, the East Lake Greenway, and the plane trees along the roadside. New city, new school, new life. I pulled the last bottle of iced tea from my bag, unscrewed it, took a sip. The phone vibrated. Zhang Hojun sent a message. Bro, are you here yet? Want to grab some hot dry noodles tonight? I replied, I'm here. You're treating. Agreed. Meet at Hohu Alley. Okay. Don't be late. I stared at these 3 words and smiled. Don't worry. On the night before the college entrance exam, I had once soberly typed 2 lines in a group chat filled with messages saying, We'll stick with you till the end. Then leave the group. Shut down. Go to sleep. At that moment, I was not cold-blooded. I finally understand others. Tears cannot choose my life for me. Others' foolishness should not be paid for by me. I only need to enter the exam room that belongs to me on time and answer the questions seriously. The sun shone through the car window, falling on the back of my hand. It was so warm it felt scalding. The matter of the college entrance exam ends here, and my life has only just begun.